Hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I use this budget lighting setup to create these images. So welcome again to my small home studio, and when I say small, I am talking about a shooting area of only 6 square meters. Okay, so today's video is actually inspired by a lot of requests from the subscribers asking if we could create a budget lighting setup with a budget camera and basically a budget modifier. In other words, it's a beginner photography setup on a real budget. Now, let's start off with this one. I actually have here a white wall or a white seamless paper that's hanging on my Manfrotto auto poles and a backdrop holder. But I chose this one because I wanted it to represent a white wall. If you don't have this one, if you don't have the seamless paper, if you don't have the backdrop holder, all you have to do is look for a blank white wall in your place and you should be okay. All right? Now, the modifier that we're going to be using is the cheapest one I could find. It is basically a 30 by 40 foam board that you can buy in any art supply store. And I'm just holding it into place using this one. This is a backdrop holder. It's just basically a clip that's attached to my light stand. But of course, you could just use an ordinary clip. You can find ways and means to be able to hold this in place, or you can ask someone to actually hold it for you. Now, the flash that I chose is this one. This is the Photix Juno. Now, this Photix Juno is actually being sold as a pair together with this one. This is the Photix Odin Light, which will serve as our trigger for today. This particular set together is only about $200 to $220. But again, you can actually find cheaper alternatives for a speed light like this. Though the reason why I chose this one is because I still want to be able to control my flash remotely using the trigger, okay? And another reason why I chose this flash is because it already has the provisions for you to directly mount it on your spigot of the light stand. So that saves you already of having to buy basically flash holders. It's the simplest way for you to be able to attach the flash to your light stand. And if you want to direct the flash anyway, you could always just tilt this one down, tilt it up. You could play around with the way you want the light to be directed. So you don't really need the umbrella holder as of this moment because, as I said, we are actually trying to make it as cheap as possible. Okay, so there we go. And then now, let's go on to my camera. So the camera that I'm using today is this one. This is a Sony A6000. It comes also with a kit lens, and that's what we're going to be using today. The kit lens has a focal length of a 16mm to 50mm, also with an aperture of 3.5 to 5.6. Now this particular set, the A6000 with the kit lens, is now selling in the second-hand market for about $400. This camera also has a 24 megapixel sensor, though it is APS-C. In other words, it is a crop sensor. So the 16 to 50 focal length is really equivalent to about a 30 to 75 type of focal length on a full frame camera. So before anything else, I'd like to thank my friend AR Policarpio for lending me this camera for today's shoot. And with this equipment and this camera, I would hope to be able to take about 3 layouts today. So let's go to my settings. First thing that I want to consider is whether or not I'm going to bring ambient light in or ambient light out. In other words, I don't think I want ambient light to be a part of the shot so that all the light that you will be seeing will be coming from my flash system. So I will set my ambient light exposure first. So with my shutter speed, I will bring it down to 1 over maybe 160 to be on the safe side because I'm not really sure what the flash sync speed of this camera is. I think it might be 1 over 200, but I'd rather that I stay within 1 over 160, which should be safe already because live view is telling me that there's practically no ambient light coming into the sensor anymore with this exposure. So now that I've dialed that in, I will now turn off live view. So when I turn off live view effects, it will actually allow me to see what I am shooting, but the actual exposure of this particular scene is this one without flash, okay? So now I think it's time for me to call in my wife, who will be our model for today. Okay, babe, come on in. Hi, babe. Hello. Okay, you look fantastic as usual. And of course, I'd like to thank our friend Mela Jimenez for virtually assisting Coco put on her makeup today. So as you guys can see now, I actually have two foam boards here and I put it like a V pattern. Then I have my flash pointed towards the center and I have this one pulled down. This one makes the light wider. So it's gonna be able to maximize the space or the surface of this one to create really nice soft light and directional light towards our subject. So this is the most basic one. And it's really fun to just start off playing with, you know, shoots like this one. And again, whatever it is that you are seeing now is a live feed from my camera. So every single the image that you will see from here on end is straight out of the camera unless stated otherwise, okay? All right, babe, perfect. And also, if you see in the composition, I am actually leaving a bit of space on top of her, which normally is a no-no when it comes to proper composition. But the reason why I am doing that is because I will be cropping this for Instagram, which is 4x5, so 8x10. All right, okay, babe. Maybe you could put one foot forward like this, your right foot, there we go, fantastic, okay. And then this is your light, of course, okay. But you can look straight at me first, chin up. Beautiful. Love it, perfect. Now you could profile if you want to. Now my flash power is actually set at full power now. And again, my settings, I just want to reiterate, is 1/160, f5.6, ISO 100. Okay, beautiful, babe. Very nice. So let's start playing around. Maybe you could put your body this way and then look back towards the light there. Beautiful. Very nice. Tilt your head this way. Can you put your hair over your cheeks, maybe? Because it's a nice and straight hair now, even here. Cover this part here. All right, let's do one more shot. Okay, good. Look there. Eyes here. Eyes here. Very nice. So in this second layout, what I basically did was I created a small V shape with the foam boards and put my flash in the middle, therefore mimicking a strip light. And by doing this also, we are actually directing most of the light here, therefore removing some of the light in the background and making it gray, okay? So let's start shooting. All right, babe, can you move forward, please? Perfect. I think I'll zoom out a bit just so that we can crop if needed. Can you face the light, please? There, perfect. Now, because of the way we fixed this one, the light is now closer to our subject. Therefore, I have to make the light weaker. So I had to change my flash power. It is now set at 1/8 power, but my settings are still the same, 1/160, f5.6, ISO 100. Okay, babe, do you mind moving forward a bit? Okay, closer to the light. And now looking here. Perfect. Okay, on the count, 1, 2. Very nice. Very nice. How about giving me more of your shoulder and then profiling back? Just to give more depth. There, open that. Then tilt your head away from camera. And then eyes somewhere here. Good. Open your mouth a bit. Part your mouth a bit. There. Very nice. Now you could lean forward because you're leaning back. Lean forward. Chin down. Very nice. Very nice. Actually, we're creating a very dramatic mood, so how about we do a very dramatic pose also? Maybe you could close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. One of the favorite poses that I do. There. Very nice. So for this third layout, what I did was I transferred the flash here in the back and I fixed the zoom of the flash. Earlier it was at its widest. Now I actually removed the flap to make it wider and I zoomed it to 200 millimeter. The purpose of that one is to focus the light towards this direction and bounce back towards Coco's face. And at the same time, the light coming from here would practically slide over her hair, creating a nice hair light, okay? So let's go. Okay. All right, there we go, babe. This is your main light, remember? Okay. Very nice. Can you move slightly going here? Some more? Okay, there we go. All right, very nice. Very nice. I think we're slightly overexposed, so I'm going to bring it down to maybe 1/2 and 1/3. Still overexposed, bring it back to 1/4 power. There. I like that. Like that a lot. Very nice. Okay, a few more. So that was 3 layouts basically using a budget camera with a budget lens and a budget light and budget modifiers. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see some of our images, you can always follow me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Thank you very much again, babe, for your patience, and till the next video.